Hello, everybody. Guys, we are live on all platforms. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Hopefully live with audio on Odyssey. And yes, indeed. That was too loud. And I'm wearing an army green t-shirt, sort of. And how about that Second Amendment? Apparently, some military gals don't so much like the Constitution or our Bill of Rights. What a mess. Listen to
It's
this.
guns. Name one mass shooting that has occurred without a gun. Oh, that's crazy. That's not possible. And I know some smart is going to be like, name one car accident that has occurred without a car. It is not the same. It is not the same, and if you can't see that, then you are part of the problem. A car was invented for the sole purpose of travel. That is its sole intended purpose, is to travel. A weapon system, a gun, was created with the sole purpose of destroying whatever you pointed at. That is its sole purpose. And don't you weaponize mental health unless you have a solution on how to get universal health care for everybody so that they can get that mental health treatment that you just think will magically happen. That person obtained those weapons legally. You can't say that more laws will only prevent good people from getting guns. It is abhorrent and unacceptable that children in this country have seen more combat than I have in my 8 years in the f***ing army, dude. Come on.
Dude, come on. Dude. Those young whippersnapper gals, military gals, doesn't seem, that's not morally straight to be promoting universal health care for the so-called mental health mess. Come on, man, says the 19th Amendment was a horrible mistake. Yeah, so women in the military. This is why I don't respect the military in a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, thank you for your service. Hopefully she gets kicked out for, being all political in uniform. Stolen valor. Yeah, that was from the red-headed libertarian. It's not me. I'm not a libertarian. That's lawbertarian. I should have mentioned that to my debate opponent on Modern Day Debate. Lawbertarian, because that just, the liberals laugh at the lawbertarians because they just can run roughshod all over the lawbertarians, including Ron Paul, because they successfully marginalized him along with the rhinos, right? Terrible. I will be getting to your calls, guys. Gonna talk about these anti-gun nut people. MSNBC white male host. What is its name? Lawrence O'Donnell. Tennessee Republicans. Please, Tennessee Republicans, oust. Get them out of there. Those two black guys and that fat, middle-aged white gal, supposedly white gal, who got on a bullhorn on the House floor in the Tennessee state and rallied against guns inside the thing, making it a mockery. What a joke. These young whippersnapper blacks and POCs, Mexican blacks, or whatever that guy is. I'm going to talk about them. The Wisconsin Supreme Court mess, I told you about that yesterday. And Ronna McDaniel is running her mouth, blaming a certain type of pro-life messaging. Maybe we could tweak the message better. But Ronna McDaniel's she's the head of the RNC. She's the Republican Rhino National Committee chair. Anti-white lady, by the way. But Trump supposedly was for her, according to Pedro Gonzalez, who seems to be campaigning against him. There is ongoing persecution of the president. The great based leader of El Salvador, who's putting all the drug dealers and gangs in prison, he's speaking out against the Trump indictment. Isn't that cool? And I'll talk about that SF stabbing and murder and crime. These are things that I hope to be talking about anyway. Chicago crime going out of control. Libs mad that New York City is gross and that people are pointing it out. And Hillary's a sore loser. She's claiming that Ricky Vaughn, you know, that formerly alt-right guy, the meme maker, who said, text your vote for Hillary Clinton. She claims that thousands of blacks presumably blacks, texted their vote to Hillary back in 2016. That guy's facing major persecution by the corrupt, anti-white, anti-American, anti-Trump DOJ, Department of Injustice, against Americans, real Americans. All that and your calls if you would like to call in. And some of you are already on hold. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I haven't worn this shirt in so long that JLP asked me if it was new. And I'm like, no, this is not new. I've had it for years. Probably the oldest shirt that I own still right now. It's just a plain... I might have gotten it from... I think I got it from Goodwill. Or maybe Urban Outfitters. It's my Zelensky shirt, says Nico. Yeah, it's just plain. It's so thin, and I saw it was going to be in the 70s today, which is kind of hot for what we're used to now. So I'm like, let me wear something that is gonna nice and cool. Hopefully it's 100% cotton and no polyester. I don't like polyester shirts because I tell you guys all the time, because they stink real fast. If you sweat it all in them, they just stink up right away. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. 100% cotton, you can wear them multiple times. Or is it a poly mix? It's probably a poly mix. I don't know. It's nice quality, though. But it's gotten thin over the years. But anyway, let me start right off with a call or two, guys. Donning Armor. I learned something from Donning Armor, and I'll tell you guys about that. I forgot that. Maybe I'll tell you about it tomorrow, because I have so much to get to. Donning Armor from California is on the line. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Doing well as well. Can I call you by your first name still?
You can if you'd like to.
Nice. This is Christopher, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate
it's a very strange name. I like it. It is my name, but it means follower of Christ.
Oh.
I'm certainly not that.
Yeah, Donning Armor is an atheist. Christopher is an atheist. Follower of Christ is an atheist. But that's so fitting for most Christians. I don't know if you catch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, but he says most Christians are atheists. They live like atheists. At heart, they are atheists.
Well, I'm admittedly so. I'm an atheist.
Right.
But Sean wanted my actual name, so.
Oh, good for him. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, he's well trained.
Yeah. I don't know Sean very well. I haven't called into the show for quite some time.
Yeah, Sean is the new producer for JLP, and he's answering phones for Hake nowadays. So.
Well, he seems to be doing a good job. He knows what he's doing. At least that's how it appears.
Yeah, he's a capable man. That's cool.
What are you fighting for, Hake?
Oh, that is interesting. I don't know if I am fighting. That is a good question, man. I like to put out the truth as I see it. And that's about it.
Let me put it a different way. Let me ask a different question.
All right.
What are you defending?
The truth, the falsely maligned, the innocent, maybe. That's what I am defending.
The truth and the innocent. And
sometimes my ego, which is not the good thing, but yeah. Yeah,
Are you the
falsely
innocent?
maligned, not just the innocent, because a lot of people are not innocent, but they're falsely maligned.
Okay. And you propose that by loving the guilty, that somehow that's going to allow you to defend the innocent?
It is important to love everybody. Yeah, as a Christian.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Hmm.
because otherwise you become guilty, and then what good are you at defending anybody?
I already am guilty. But,
You were
so
guilty of what?
Oh, I don't want to go into that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
So you think through love you can conquer the horrors of the world?
At least within yourself. Yeah. You're not going to turn the
then
world.
you're
You're
just-
not going to turn the world around. You may turn some around, but
Can you name guilty people or innocent people, or are they all struggling with their internal demons as you are?
all people are guilty on some level, except for the babies. I don't think the babies are guilty. They're probably completely innocent.
So
You go
when
ahead.
you say that somebody is guilty, I'm assuming that you're coming at it from a Christian perspective, that all are guilty of sin.
Of hatred, yeah.
Yeah, transgression against the your God's law.
Yeah, pushing evil.
Hmm. And you yourself are included in that.
What's that?
You yourself are included in that category.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're fighting yourself.
Yeah. It's fighting the messed up self. Yeah.
Which half is going to win?
That remains to be seen.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting. No, it's been a while since I've called in the show, so I'm just roasting you a little bit. I'm just trying to figure this out. I don't understand the whole Christian worldview, to be honest with you, even though...
What is the worldview
I've
of the Christian that you... Can you say what the worldview is and what you don't understand about it?
It's a monotheistic worldview where God thinks this way some of the time and thinks another way another time and wants us all to behave and do as he says. I don't believe in that, but I know you do. It's all good.
No, but what part don't you understand about the worldview?
Oh, that's a good question. So, at times, God will call for vengeance and anger, but then at other times, you'll hear Christians say, love thy enemy, and, treat everybody equal.
Right.
It's just
But that's not true.
contradictory.
It's not, but that's because you said it wrong. God doesn't call for vengeance and anger. He said, vengeance is mine. Anger is his.
So didn't he call
He never
upon
called,
his
he never called for men to be angry.
Well, what about the Mennonites? Is it the Mennonites?
I don't
Am
know,
saying
but
that
they were supposed to be killed or something like that?
Yeah, I believe
that-
something like that.
Yeah, but that's war. That has nothing to do with anger. They better kill them all if God told them to kill them all. They may have been tools of God's vengeance, but
They killed them with love. Did they love him to death?
I don't know. It's irrelevant though. But that had nothing to do with what they felt. They had to obey God, irregardless, which you say is a word, which I just learned is a word for some. But I'm going to keep on saying which is not a word just because it's a habit. But
It's controversial, but if bling bling can be a word, then irregardless can be a word. It's been a word since the late 18th century or something like that.
right, people have been saying it, mostly joking or black or stuff like that. Ignorant people. But
I don't know. There's too many syllables in it for black people.
they like lots of syllable words. You'll notice they'll misuse them all the time.
They'll just say like no cap.
Oh, true.
Something like that. I think that would be their version of irregardless. But I understand that it is controversial, and it wasn't recognized until, I think, if I remember correctly, 1875.
Okay. But killing the Mennonites is a command. It's not, you have to feel this way about them. You have to feel hatred and vengeance. You're a tool of God's vengeance if you're an Israelite from those days to kill the Mennonites or whoever they were.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
How does it not make sense? You're supposed
to kill people that you are also commanded to love. That's a very odd thing to say, isn't it?
No, love doesn't, because you don't know what love is, maybe.
I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
That's corny, man. And it's my job to show you if I'm calling myself a Christian. But yeah, love is not this phony feeling stuff it's not the opposite feeling of hate. It doesn't have to do with the feelings. Love never ends.
You can hate somebody and love them at the same time. I can kind of understand that.
No, you can't.
No, I wouldn't hate them, but I would be extremely frustrated with them, but I'd still love them.
But that's the atheist understanding of love. Which is the understanding that most Christians have too. Because the Bible says love never ends, but feelings come and go. So love is not a feeling or an emotion. Does that make sense?
Love is not a feeling.
Yep.
No, I don't. I just can't follow. Perhaps God just created me wrong.
Nah. Or maybe he created you as an instrument of destruction, instrument of his wrath, something like that. Who knows? Maybe.
I like that.
But you're an intellectual, so. And I don't know if you're trying to understand, because you don't seem like a seeker. You've written it all off.
Well, I mean, I've been. If you want to call it seeking, I wouldn't call it seeking. But I've had debates, if you will, not formal debates, well, usually not, with Christians for 25 years now. So
you're roughly my age, right? Just mid to late 30s,
I'm close to
40s, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm in my late 30s.
Yep.
But just on a side note, did you appreciate the pink moon last night? Did you do any rituals?
I didn't even know there was a pink moon last night. I feel cheated.
Yeah.
What's the pink moon? Oh, that's the full moon for April.
Yes, it is.
Okay, because I know that there was a wolf moon, and I knew that you knew that there was a wolf moon because or a worm moon. Is it a worm moon or a wolf moon? Last month.
Yeah, there's a worm moon. Yes, absolutely.
And
I'm learning as I go, so I'm not a scholar by any means when it comes to paganism. But no, I did my rituals.
What's that? What rituals? If you don't mind my asking, if it's not too explicit for the kids.
Yeah, well, I do different things, and I'm kind of, because Indo-European paganism it's not certain how they used to practice, but on the pink moon, and because there's kids out there, well, let's just say that it boils down to reproduction.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
if you
that
have
makes
that
sense.
opportunity, which unfortunately I did not.
Okay.
What I did was I lit a flame. I listened to some Galder.
Who?
Which is like spiritual music.
Okay.
Put me in a trance state. gave some sacrificial liquid to my grandfather's tree, and meditated on it underneath the moonlight. If I had a lady there, it would have been a different story.
Oh, I gotcha.
I didn't. Yeah.
All right, man.
That's basically what it is. It's a celebration of Freya. Frigg.
Of what?
Freya.
Flea?
It's a goddess of
Okay. Oh, man.
reproduction.
All right.
You got to be down on this stuff, man. What are you doing?
I'm a Christian. Well, I wish you well, Donning Armor. Christopher
All right.
from California.
Uh,
Thanks for the
yeah,
questions.
I'll let you go, man.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Let me get to Denny in Bulgaria. Another white man, another white European man, I think he is. Denny, how are you doing?
Good day, Mr. Hake. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing fine.
I am. Thank you.
Glad to hear. And yes, I am from Europe. And just before I start about the thing that I was calling, maybe I'm wrong, of course, but from what I know, Freya is a Scandinavian goddess, and she is to be honored in Friday because this is her day.
Oh, Friday, Freya Day.
Freitag. The original name is Freitag, which is the day of Freya. So I don't know why he was worshiping her yesterday, but I think you should do it again tomorrow.
Interesting, man. He was doing it because I guess last night may have been the full moon for April, and so he called it the pink moon, and so for that he did that.
But it's the Friday after the full moon, according to the Scandinavian legend that I learned when I was in Denmark.
Okay. Wow.
So, Mr. Hake, I'm calling to share an information with you and your viewers and listeners about a very interesting thing that occurred in year 1088, about 900 years ago.
Wow.
Are you familiar with the name Hassan-Sabbah?
Hassan-Sabbah, S-A-B-A-T?
S-A-B-B-A-H.
Oh, Sabbah. No, I have.
Yes.
And is it H-A-S-S-A-N or H-A-S-A-N?
H-A-S-A-N.
Sabbah. Oh, no, I had not heard of this person.
He was the founder of an ancient order of assassins in the Middle East. He was an interesting man, but I'm calling to share one interesting story about him. He wanted to capture a castle called Alamut. A-L-A-M-U-T. Alamut.
Okay.
Now, he wanted to capture this castle because it was the perfect fortress. It was impregnable. Nobody, no army could ever capture this castle. It was on a perfect place, in a perfect spot. It was well defended, and the natural surrounding of it made it perfect for defense. Now, obviously, he couldn't march an army because it would have been destroyed. So he dispatched his assassins and people from his order in there to work as servants and to undermine the current rulership over there. And they specifically targeted librarians, people of art, musicians, painters, government administrators over there, and children. And even he himself was dressed as a teacher to go over there to teach the children. And he instructed his men specifically to stay away from people with trades, carpenters, blacksmiths, and so on and so forth. And he was mostly focused on that group: women, children, and people whose jobs were basically meaningless. He was able to capture that fortress within 3 years.
Wow.
Basically, by the time he was able to capture it, he simply had to go over there and tell everyone that now he is in charge.
Oh, man.
And the reason I'm telling you this story is because if I didn't told you the name of the man or the name of the place, and I just said it as a story, I'm pretty sure you probably would have think that this is something that happened in a recent period or even today. And it's funny. You probably may argue that people back then were a little bit more simple. They didn't have that much information. But I would say that people were, and I don't want to insult anyone, but people were stupid in general. And
Yeah.
they've always been like that, and they will always be like that. And I just wanted to give you this as an example because it's something that you can observe in a few places here and there even today. Just by targeting women, children, and so-called intellectuals, and specifically to avoid people with solid traits. This was his recipe. This information was given to Europe by Niccolo Polo and his son Marco Polo, the famous adventurers.
Wow.
And it's all from his journal, how he captured that fortress. So I just wanted to give this as an example because I think it's something to reflect, and people should be aware of those historic things. Because I personally believe it's amusing that a Bulgarian man can call an American man and talk about a Syrian and what she did 900 years ago, and it's still applicable today.
Yeah. It reminds me what he did with that infiltration of what they did in America, infiltrating our schools, our hospitals, the sciences, academia, mainstream media, the politicians, and they've taken, the very unchristian people have taken over and put the Christians on the underside, on the underbelly of America, forcing many of them into the closet.
And the same thing occurred in Russia before it became a USSR. The same thing occurred in China. So, yeah, this is happening. And I just wanted to give you this as an example, Mr. Hake.
Wow, I appreciate that. Thank you for the history lesson, Denny in Bulgaria.
Thank you for having my call. Thank you for having me, Mr. Hake. I would like to wish you and your viewers, and your colleagues, all the best. Kind regards, and God be with you, Mr. Hake.
Sounds good, man. You too.
Right on. Goodbye.
Bye. Denny in Bulgaria. Before I get back to calls, let me play another clip here. Another anti-gun nut person. This one is another female-minded liberal, but it's a male. A white male, purportedly. Lawrence O'Donnell. Is he a Christian? Clip 13. This is shared on Twitter by Chris Plant Show with an E at the end. This is the kind of rhetoric MSNBC allows on their airwaves. Elected Republicans are dedicated to making sure that America's mass murderers are the very best equipped mass murderers in the world. Here it is from his mouth.
What Republican State Representative William Lamberth and Lindsey Graham have in common with every other elected Republican in Washington is the absolute determination to make sure that every mass murderer who walks into an American school will be able to legally purchase an AR-15 to bring into that school with them. Elected Republicans are dedicated to making sure that America's mass murderers are the very best equipped mass murderers in the world.
Yes. Yes. We want everybody armed. We want them to walk into a school with an AR-15 and dare to shoot, because there's going to be armed teachers. Hopefully they're not liberals. We want them to, we can close down the public schools. They're so overdramatic, says Raymond 11. Guns don't kill, says Steve C. Yeah, we want to unban the full auto weapons so that we can all have full auto weapons if we want them. We don't need these licenses, in my opinion. I could be mistaken. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is so tough. He really wants that. William Lamberth, I haven't heard that name before. The Republicans, more like Republicans. But I'm a voter for many Republicans and Republicans. Mostly I've voted for Republicans. But I voted for our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, who's probably not for what I'm for. But yes, But they won't be walking into a school armed with an AR-15 or whatever. Weapons of war. Weapons of mass destruction. Because they don't want to go into like any gun-free zone. Ryan 8U says, worst solution is a sign that says gun-free zone. And we want to raise people who are not mass murderers in the first place. And that goes by stop the attack on men, or men standing up regardless of the attack on men, because we can't make them stop the attack on men, right? So recognize the attack on men and man up. Become men. Become men of no hatred, no emotion, not being so emotional. Emotions are what cause these people to do these things. Referencing that anti-gun lady. Should we play it one more time? Should we play that anti-gun lady one more time? She's the same spirit as this evil guy. Clip 12 one more time. This is from TRHL official, the redheaded libertarian. I think she's a Tim Pool type gal. So she says rightly that the 19th Amendment was a mistake, and here's an example of why it was a mistake. A sassy, know-it-all military gal.
It's guns. Name one mass shooting that has occurred without a gun.
I can't.
That's crazy. That's not possible. And I know some smart is going to be like, name one car accident that has occurred without a car. It is not the same. It is not the same. If you can't see that, then you are part of the problem. A car was invented for the sole purpose of travel. That is its sole intended purpose, is to travel. A weapon system, a gun, was created with the sole purpose of destroying whatever you pointed at. That is its sole purpose. And don't you weaponize mental health unless you have a solution on how to get universal health care for everybody so that they can get that mental health treatment that you just think will magically happen. That person obtained those weapons legally. You can't say that more laws will only prevent good people from getting guns. It is abhorrent and unacceptable that children in this country have seen more combat than I have in my 8 years in the f***ing army, dude. Come on.
Then kick her out of the army. What good is she? What good is she? I don't know if she's any good. She's got to be good at something, right? She's not very good. She's good at being malicious and sarcastic. Terrible. Yes, guns are for stopping and sometimes for killing the bad guys and the good guys. And the so-called innocent. Where is her husband? I don't even know if she's married. I hope she's not. Ridiculous. I have a super chat from Rumble over here. I can't read this. Being enlightened till I rise says she probably... I can't read that. Because I know what it means. She was cooking and cleaning her way up to the up the ranks. Vacuumed is the word that he used. She doesn't deserve to wear that uniform. Literally swore a national oath to defend the Constitution and then speak like that. Women, SMH. I know, but think about what the generals are against the Constitution. Look at General Mark Milley. He's like, I want to understand white rage. I want to give my, military trainees or military guys the Marxism book to learn Marxist propaganda and fall for it. I want the blah, 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 blah. And then they also put in that guy, the affirmative action guy, as head of the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, who wasn't even 7 years out of the military like he's supposed to be. But the lame-o Republicans, they approved him because he's black and liberal. And he's against the Christians and the whites and the men and the Second Amendment too, probably, I think. I forget. Only way she married is if she catfished a dude. I don't know. I think that she was mildly attractive until she started getting all sassy and pretending to be all tough. And she hasn't seen military. She hasn't seen action. But the children are quite durable. Children are durable. They're only tender-hearted when the mothers make them so, or allow them to be so. Is Hake brain damaged? Maybe. You know what else is going on? These Tennessee Republican cans? Are they going to be Tennessee Republicans? Or are they going to be Tennessee Republicans? I have some pictures of these phony politicians who made a scene, and I don't have any footage or anything. I just have pictures and headlines and stuff. Justin J. Pearson is this ridiculous-looking Afro guy and these anti-2A interrupters in Tennessee. And then there's another Justin Jones, another phony Tennessee politician, Justin Shea, S-H-E-A, Bautista -Jones, who looks like he's black and Hispanic. And then there's this other lady, and I use the term loosely. I mentioned these in Hake News, who also was shouting on the floor, Gloria Johnson, Representative Gloria Johnson. Not a Christian, not black, though. Maybe black on the inside. Dark, evil on the inside, yep. But look at these people. Clowns. And they're Tennessee state representatives. All Democrats. I call them demon rats. Okay? And protect kids, not guns. There's this big old New York Times failing New York Slimes headline, written by a woman. As young people march for their lives. You're not marching for your lives. You're marching for communist takeover of the country. Oh, dumb. Tennessee crushes dissent and overrides democracy. It's not supposed to be a democracy. Yes, let's override it. Democracy's evil. Look at these suckers in this picture. Woman all kind of, well, I wanted to say fat and ugly. But, you know, her hair's mildly attractive and whatever. And then this black Aztec-looking guy. And then this Ronald McDonald clownish, phony, goofy Afro. Well, it's not phony. Goofy Afro, phony guy. Wearing what is that, a mariachi shirt? Is he wearing a mariachi? What is that shirt? Anyway, these people lifting up their hands, holding their hands together like lame Democrats trying to take away the guns. Margaret Rankle says, she wrote this, I guess, April 5th. She wrote, yesterday, the eyes of our country were on the indictment of a former president, along with the all too real possible. I don't want to read all this. This is a mess. Last Thursday, in the wake of the shooting, peaceful protesters at the Tennessee state capitol rallied for gun reform, not anger reform, not emotion reform, not people reform, not black reform. Gun reform. Representatives Justin Jones, Gloria Johnson, and Justin J. Pearson, all Democrats, led them in chants on the House floor. On Monday, State House Republicans stripped all three of their committee memberships and deactivated their ID badges. Nice. The Democrats did knowingly and intentionally bring disorder and dishonor to the House of Representatives of the state of Tennessee. The formal resolutions against them read. And so I guess today the State House of Tennessee will vote, maybe they already have, on whether to expel the three lawmakers for talking out of turn. Expel them. They can expel them from the House of Representatives. I hope they do. I doubt it. Because, yes, even in the beautiful South, which Tennessee is the South, Republicans are Republicans. They're a bunch of rhinos. On Monday, 10:13 a.m., 1 week to the minute after a shooter, meaning a mass murderer, transgender female, by the way, a female who wanted to be transgender to male, allegedly, armed with military-style weapons, entered a church-affiliated Covenant School, the Christian school, and murdered 3 children and 3 adults. More than 7,000 Nashville students staged a walkout to demand gun reform, not human reform, Students are dumb. Students are evil. Students are blind and brainwashed. Vanderbilt University students. Belmont University students marched down one street, one another. One school marched down another. All of them joining a large crowd of high school and college students. All a bunch of, I don't want to say idiots. Kids don't say idiots. But all a bunch of blind, brainwashed, useful, I can say useful idiots for communism, right? Around town. Nashville, Tennessee. I think it's Nashville. Determined to speak as one voice directly to their government. Save us, government. We can't. Anyway, no place in this firearm-besotted country is safe from gun violence, writes this woman who's writing for the failing New York Slimes. But Tennessee students are at particular risk, and not just in school. They live in a state with some of the nation's most permissive gun laws, because it's mostly Republican-led. The rural areas are safe, but not the cities. The highest rate of gun theft. Yeah, the Memphis female, black female Memphis police chief, or whatever she was, got her gun stolen out of her car. She claims it was locked up properly and whatever, but it was stolen. And perhaps unsurprisingly, one of the highest rates of gun deaths. Gun deaths, no such thing. Murder by shooting, right, is what they mean. Or suicide by shooting yourself, which you're not supposed to do. Don't do that. I almost said don't do that, kids, but don't do that, adults, either. Nor adolescents, nor teens. But it's because it's heavy black population. Not black reform. Let's do the guns. Not reforming the anger of the transgenders, the anger of the mentally ill, the anger of the blah, blah, blah. The guns that killed the children and staff members. Oh, guns did it. No. It was bullets fired by a woman. A woman did it. At Covenant last week were all purchased legally, despite the fact that the shooter was being treated for an emotional disorder. That female. If Tennessee had enacted a red flag law before now, it's fair to believe that 6 deeply mourned members of the Covenant community would still be alive to this day. Countless others would be too. Well, it's also fair to believe that if we didn't have them gun-free zones, then they wouldn't be so eager to walk into a place and get shot at, or potentially face getting shot at. These people target gun-free zones. And it's also fair to believe that not promoting false victimhood, victims become perpetrators. You treat people like victims or survivors. They become angry perpetrators. Hence, women are so angry. And blacks so angry because they think they're victims and they're not. And then some of the whites think they see they get into the victimhood. Some of them lash out. Duh. Stupid. Sorry, kids, don't say that. I got carried away. I'm not sorry, but don't say that too much, kids. The shamelessness on display was breathtaking. If there is a firearm out there that you're comfortable being shot with, please show me which one it is. A based Republican state representative, and I use the term loosely, said to student protesters. Presumably he meant that banning so-called assault-style guns, assault-style, whatever that means, meaning rifles, I guess. Awesome rifles, which should never be banned, even machine guns, I say, wouldn't prevent students from being shot with other kinds of guns, such as 22s. 22s, the primary murder weapon. Did you know? I heard. 22, little 22s? Yeah, they kill. Yeah, pistols. Assault pistol. That's not so much of an argument coming from a pro-gun legislator who opposes red flag laws. Red flag laws are where your girlfriend or your wife who turned evil or is evil already, or some evil judge or some misguided cop can say, oh, you seem like a risk to you. You pose a risk to yourself or others. So let's take away your right to guns without due process. There is no such due process of taking away somebody's gun unless you're taking them to prison and keeping them there. No ankle bracelets. ankle monitor. So anyway, the Republican supermajority of Tennessee moved to expel Mr. Jones. That's Justin Jones. Ms. Johnson. Oh, she's not married? Hey. No. Mr. Pearson. I'm blanking on Ms. Johnson's name, but the two Jones and Pearson, they're Justins. But the three Democrats had more public sentiment on their side. They had more even than moral authority on their side. No, they don't have any moral authority. They had a practical reason for flouting chamber rules. Our mics were cut off throughout the week whenever we tried to bring up the issue of gun violence, Mr. Jones, Justin Jones told WKRN. This guy's a sleazy guy. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you about him. Ms. Johnson, I'm blanking on what her name was. Let's see. Gloria. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Ms. Johnson is a retired teacher. Imagine she brainwashed the kids, and the kids grew up to be dummies. Veteran legislator who represents, that means she's old, Knox County, East Tennessee. The two men, they're not men, they're maybe adult males, but they are no men. Look at these guys. Doesn't that... Shout out to the Aztec-looking black Hispanics. But he looks like an Aztec. His face is pretty cool, but he's not cool. Or he may be cool, but his views are evil. And he's an activist guy, well-known activist. I'm talking about Jones. Jones is the black Hispanic, and then Pearson is the goofy black guy with the weird, goofy afro. It's not weird, it's just goofy. It looks like a woman's afro. He looks effeminate. Except for his face. His face looks manly, but inside, he thinks like a woman. That's why he's against the right to carry guns. To carry and keep and buy and tout and conceal and open carry awesome guns. Both men are skilled community organizers. Pearson won in a landslide. Jones is from Nashville. He's the black Hispanic. Pearson led a successful effort to stop the Byhalia connection pipeline. So he stopped progress from running through a historic black neighborhood in Memphis. Jones led a successful effort to have a bust of the based American hero, Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest. I reported about this when it happened. I didn't know he was behind that, or he led that effort. Removed from the state capital of Tennessee. Weak. Don't say that, kids. This is why I call them Republicans, because it's a supermajority in the state of Tennessee. The capital, the evil stuff always rises to the top, right? The weak. I guess we're all weak, right? Nathan Bedford Forrest. He was an American hero, a Confederate American hero. Terrible. Look at him. Look at that guy with his skinny, weak fist. He's even ashamed to his Aztec ancestors. No, I don't know what he is. Bautista. That's a Hispanic sort of. And he does look sort of American Indian or Mexican Indian, if you will. Wearing his mask. Oh, gosh, what a goofy guy. This is from 2021. And beautiful, awesome. I shouldn't call him beautiful, but I read about Nathan Bedford Forrest back when they were doing this to him. Or, to his cool things. Little monuments in his honor. These people are not honorable. Less honorable men are replacing the memories, the reminders to honorable men. I want to read what that thing said. Yeah, if you could read it, Nicolas.
Yeah, this little blurb underneath that same photo says, activist Justin Jones raises his fist at the Nathan Bedford Forrest bust in the state capitol Thursday, July 22nd, 2021 in Nashville, Tennessee. After the removal of the bust was approved by the State Building Commission, Jones led protests over the summer of 2020 to have the bust removed. The State Building Commission on Thursday gave approval for the relocation of the Forrest bust to the Tennessee State Museum, a final step in a process that has taken more than a year since Governor Bill Lee first said it was time for the statue to be moved. Oh, isn't that guy a Republican?
I don't know.
George Walker for the Tennessean.
Governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee. I think he's a Democrat. No, wait. What is he?
It's a Republican Party, according to Wikipedia.
Weak. He's a Republican. That's why he has a crooked face. I'm looking at Bill Lee's face. He looks like a man, and then he has a crooked face because...
William Byron Lee.
Yeah. Terrible. Shame on the people who caved to that, huh? So sick. By the way, this sleazy guy, Justin Shea Bautista Jones, who successfully, apparently, since 2019 campaigned for the removal of the bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest from the Tennessee state capitol. He was charged with assaulting one Glenn Casada, member of the Tennessee House of Representatives, by allegedly throwing a drink at him. Casada later agreed to drop the charges. Big mistake. Never drop charges. Apocalypto-looking guy. Yeah, I like that movie. You should have stuck with acting. In 2020, he organized a 62-day sit-in protest for racial justice, no such thing, outside the state capitol after the murder, with an asterisk, of George Floyd. It was not a murder. He was an overdose. And then they sat on him because he didn't want to sit in the car like a sane person. He was insane. Oh, I'm claustrophobic. He was arrested and faced 14 charges, which were dropped. So they're going to replace the men of law and order, like Derek Chauvin, Darren Wilson, George Zimmerman, Nathan Bedford Forrest, Donald J. Trump, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and replacing them with trash. And even to some more of lesser extent, that black lady, Jackie Lacey in California, here, LA County, LADA, and then replacing her with even more female-minded. She was the first black woman DA, right? And a Democrat. And I voted for her because George Gascon was even worse. Even more female-minded and communist and Black Lives Matter supported. And George Soros supported, and commie capitalist Netflix CEO and phony do-gooder philanthropist or whatever she is, Netflix CEO's wife, supported him with major money. Yeah, People's Plus. Oh, that headline that you showed, Nick, of this guy, this apocalypto-looking guy, black guy, Hispanic. The Justin Jones? No, the headline. The one that you read? People's Plaza protest charges against Justin Jones dropped. The charges are dropped for all these guys. Meanwhile, they persecute the January 6thers. Replace the whites with blacks and women and trash. It's terrible stuff. Trash is in trash values, false values, false imitation. Did you want to mention something, Nick, there? Okay. Terrible. Ridiculous. So I don't have high hopes that Republicans will oust these guys, but that would be fun. Just out of pure malice, Hake is being malicious here. Maybe they shouldn't oust him, but I think they should because they did break the rules. They broke the rules. And also they're against the Constitution. And also they're evil. Look at their little communist poster here. Protect kids, not guns. Protect the right to carry guns, and then you will protect the kids. Don't elect Democrats, and you'll protect the kids from getting killed in the abortion. And I'm going to get to that, guys. I'm going to also get to your calls, but evil attacks all in every state. What a shame. Now it's time for some music, guys. And it is Steve Taylor, not to be confused with Steven Tyler, who's in trouble, by the way, I heard. Well, I don't know what's going on with him. Let me not get into that. This is a song called Curses by Steve Taylor from the 1993 album Squint. As you squint and you're in the distance with a truth in your eyes, something like that. I don't know. It's a Christian musician, talented lyricist. People don't like his voice, but whatever. And it's about children and fathers and God. Hope you enjoy it. And I'll be right back for hour 2. You can grin and bear it, you musical Philistines, or you can cover your ears and shout, la, 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 the Hake Report. Or you can press mute, or you can press pause, and then fast forward. It's about 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Be right back. So good. Squirrel up to no good. Even the squirrels look more stressed out in 2023. Mildly rocking. There's no Stretch Armstrong. Sounds like Alice in Chains. 9 Inch Nails or what? And we're with a GA. Skip, muted. Oh, the demon voice guy. So good. The curses fall on another deserter. Steve Taylor. Turn it up. Shout out to Steve Taylor, a Christian singer. All musicians are liberals, though. Christian music writer, lyricist. Jonas over on YouTube says, music just gets folks into their feelings and imagination. The is pure wizardry. I know. I agree, man. No wonder Hake is single, says Big Rodney. You don't know me. Sounds like the soundtrack to a mid-2000s vampire movie. And it's ahead of its time, because this is 1993, baby. I'm going to get to calls, guys. This dude doesn't know how to stick to one genre, even during the same song. Okay. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Let me double check for some super chats, because I did see some come in there before I get to calls. On the Rumble rants, we're all caught up on dlive.tv/The Hake Report. I do stream there. Green_wall with the diamond. Why does evil usually operate through the left? Because they have full-blown accepted evil, whereas the right, evil operates through the so-called right, but it doesn't. But it's makes them weak, and then accept more and more evil. Because the right is the good people are not good at being good, but yeah, it's a mess. Rocking, asks DJ on Paul with a diamond. More like epic socking. Thanks, Steve. Shout out to Steve Taylor. Thank you, DJ on Paul, for the support, sneaking in those dismissive diamonds. We're caught up on Streamlabs. Let me double check on Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-Fi.com. Buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report and ko-fi.com/The Hake Report. We're all caught up, guys. Thank you. Let me get to Artie Art from Ohio, baby, on the line. Art, thanks for holding, man. How you doing?
Man, Hake, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
What's up with my Hake, brother?
Just hanging out, enjoying my Christian music, and enjoying seeing you guys not enjoy it, I guess.
Oh, man, you know, you play what you gonna play, man. I don't even be tripping. I just let it play in the background. I'll just be listening to it. Long story short.
Right on.
Yeah, sir. Long story short, from yesterday, what I was saying about the Jill Biden or whatnot, she only want that Iowa chick to come to the White House because she basically feel bad that a whole black school, LSU, beat the white school and the black girl was taunting the white girl when the white girl was taunting the black girl, which I don't have no problem with neither one of the white or the black girl taunting each other. You know, it's just part of the game and whatnot. I just feel like the liberal left is always calling something racist or bringing something that's race talk into something that ain't got nothing to do with racism or something like that. Yep. And I always call it the left eating the left. Long story short.
I agree, man. I agree. They'll use... Oh, just because George Soros is Jewish, they just call it, it's anti-Semitic. And when people say, George Soros is supporting all this evil stuff, and it's anti-Semitic. Or a white cop does something to a black guy, it's because the white is racist. It's a distraction because they're shallow and they're evil, and they love to get people focused on the wrong thing. Terrible.
Yeah.
True.
For sure. Second thing is, with that lady that's in the Army, she, this is the difference between, this is why men and females will never be the same. I will never tell, my son, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tell him that, hey, be careful, man, strap up and be safe, man, and go out there and put your plug in as many sockets as you possibly can. If RDR has a daughter, I'm not going to tell my daughter to go out there and get as many, be protected, be safe or whatnot, but go ahead and get as many plugs and put in your socket as possible. You know what I mean? Only a liberal would think to be like, oh, I would tell my daughter to go ahead and let as many plugs get put in her socket as possible. She can go
Right.
ahead and just get, you know,
Not
so
good.
that's going to always, that's going to always be the difference. Second thing is, that female that's in the Army shouldn't be in the Army. The only reason why she's in the Army or whatnot, because the men want something to put their plug in the socket. That's the only use that she has or whatnot.
Terrible.
So the second thing is...
I disavow. But
yeah.
But I hear that happens a lot. I mean, it's what do you expect when with the immoral society and women in the so-called workforce and the armed forces, supposedly armed forces? It's terrible.
Man, hey, you will not believe how many lawsuits they get a year and all the time from females who allegedly done been raped. Allegedly, they say they being raped, but you put yourself around a whole bunch of dudes got high testosterone. There's around a whole bunch of dudes, and it's like a female walking in the alley with a skirt or thong on with no top on.
I know.
Okay, and there's so many lawsuits to come behind that. But let's go ahead and use what she said, and I'm gonna stick to the same analogy which she hates that the articulate conservatives like to say. About cars and guns. Yeah, we know cars and guns are two different things.
Right.
But a car can be used as a weapon, and if I don't steer it right, I can steer into a building and kill a lot of people with a car that can be considered a missile, which is a bullet is metal, a car is metal. You dang on dumb female.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing is, it's the person that's killing the person. So I mean, she was just basically trying to just. She don't like that argument or whatnot. Cars and these are all different knives or ropes. It ain't the rope. It ain't the rope that's killing the person or whatever they be saying. Man, if I can go around with a rope and strangle a lot of people, we gonna walk around here butt naked because we don't want to have strings in our cotton shirts or something because people walking around here strangling people. You know what I mean?
She's just being shallow. She doesn't want to address the evil heart because she has an evil heart and she's blind.
Yes, she sure do.
Yeah.
And she ain't cool. I mean, be a female, which you ain't clearly a female. You just got a hot pocket in between your legs.
That's
I mean,
too
you're
much,
trying to
man.
be too cool.
But anyway, go ahead.
You're trying to be too cool, thinking you Maverick off a Top Gun, man. Take them glasses off, get real, man, and go retire. Go get you a husband, which you ain't gonna never get, because anybody that would marry you is a liberal. Second thing is, why are we listening to females, man? Why are they even talking? They shouldn't even be talking right now. They shouldn't be in no form of politics at all, man.
I totally agree.
A lot of this stuff is happening because you got a whole bunch of fake and phony females. They run around here acting like they agree with the left. You got some that act like they agree with Artie Art, and they only pretending. But you put them around a whole bunch of females. They had to protect the female hive mind or whatnot. They acting like they agree with you, but they really don't.
Yeah.
They not go. They not really for.
Because like Jesus said, do not worry, and then they worry about politics. They get all amped up on it and puffed up in their pride over it. Even the ones who are the right-wing ladies, they get carried away with it. And males do this too, and it's pathetic when guys get all caught up in politics, but women don't even need to be worrying their pretty little heads about politics and all that stuff. It's fun to know a little bit of what's going on. It's nice. You don't have to, though. Yeah. It's kind of nice and refreshing when a woman doesn't know what's going on in politics and doesn't have an opinion. It's so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all, it's cool. It's cool to admire a man or whatnot, but they want to be men.
Right.
That's why if you don't get it, and it's right in front of your eyes or whatnot, why do you see that whole bunch of female pastors back in the day? You didn't see no female preachers or pastors or whatnot. Now around in 2015, you see a whole bunch of female pastors that's going against what the teachings is. Letting you know that they don't even follow their own rules or whatnot. They don't follow the rules that's been set for them, but they want you to follow the rules that they're coming out. And I'm not saying that females shouldn't have the right under the Constitution to have to speak. But I'm saying the America has went so far gone. You got a whole bunch of crazy, loony, liberal females or whatnot that's in politics that shouldn't even be in politics, man.
Yeah.
They should not be running nothing, have no say over nothing or whatnot, man.
I know.
And,
I'm going to get to Ronna McDaniel and maybe Marjorie Greene. They're both running their mouths. And I like Marjorie Greene for being a little bit more for what's right, but she should not be involved like this. And nor Ronna McDaniel, that's Mitt Romney's niece, running the Republican Party. What a joke. How embarrassing. And Trump pushed it. I disagree with Trump on that one, okay, guys? But I'm still voting for him because he's the best in history, or at least in recent history. But you know what? One guy said, I'm interrupting you here, Art, but GMD-Jim on DLive says, Art, tell your boys not to be slut makers.
well, okay, and I'm glad they said that.
Yeah.
But the female has the right to know whether the dude that she's messing with and open her legs up to, he takes care of his kids, or he is an informed dude, or a good alpha male, or a good guy, good morals to where if you do have a baby, he knows how to work or whatnot, and he's going to probably end up taking care of the kid. But you have a lot of these liberal females, they might have dads in the house, and the dads or moms might be telling, hey, that ain't a good dude, you probably shouldn't be mad. Well, Mom, I'm going to mess with him, I don't care if you like him or not. And they end up going out and having a kid with him. Then the dude don't take care of the kid, and now her and her mom is all cool, but they both liberal libtards together or whatnot. And one guy hurt them, now all guys are bad or whatnot. But go ahead, I'm listening to you again.
I appreciate it, Art, man. I got to keep moving, but...
Well, hold on. One more thing, real quick. One more thing. Okay, so they trying to do this with Trump or what? When that Joe Biden said we're going to have y'all locked in chains again?
Biden said that to the black church, that Republicans want to put y'all back in chains.
Yeah, okay. First thing first is everything that they're doing, everything that these so-called females in the left is fighting for is to take away your constitutional rights. They saying that the democracy ain't nobody above the law or whatnot. Y'all don't even follow the democracy or whatnot. Everything y'all doing, y'all risking the whole Constitution to slander and bring down one man, Donald Trump, and we still rolling with Trump. God bless you, Hake, and I thank you for your time, man.
All right. And Lisa, our resident health expert, says, I don't want to be a man, Art.
I said admire.
Her. Nice.
Yep, admiration. Thank you.
Right on. Take care, man.
Yep. All right.
All right. Oh, boy. Let me play this before I get back to calls. Wisconsin Supreme Court, I covered it yesterday. Dan Kelly did not seek Trump's endorsement. He had Trump's endorsement back in 2020, and he lost. And then he didn't seek it this time, and he lost. And I heard that the Democrats were pulling dirty tricks, but I don't know if it's true or not. But I would not be surprised. But a pro-abortion female Democrat-backed, Emily's List-backed, which is radical pro-baby killing organization, Planned Parenthood-backed, what's that woman's name? Podosewski, whatever. Podosewicz?
Janet
Podosewicz. One to be on the state Supreme Court. A woman. Not even one woman who pretends to be on the decent side. Well, she pretends in her mind that it's decent, but she's Democrat. Beat out Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly, I don't know what's up with him. I don't know if he's tough or not. I have not heard him speak. I know that there was a statement that he said that people liked, and some people thought he was sour grapes. But I have a clip shared by another talking head woman, because women are voting right now, you know. Citizen Free Press and Town Hall shared this RNC Rhino National Committee chair, Ronna McDaniel, who falsely called based Iowa Representative Steve King, a white supremacist, evil woman, Ronna McDaniel. She blames pro-life messaging, or this particular brand of pro-life messaging by this man, for the Supreme Court loss in Wisconsin. Here's her statement. 37 seconds, clip 11.
But I will say something else. When you're losing by 10 points, there is a messaging issue, and abortion is still an issue. And we can't allow the Democrats to define Republicans and put millions of dollars up in lies and have it go unanswered, because the lies become the truth if they go unanswered. We have to put the Democrats on the defense on this issue, talk about the fact that they support gender selection abortions and due date abortions. It was an issue in 2022. The RNC raised the flag. I'm a suburban woman. I know this is an issue. I hear it with my friends, with my young daughter. This is not an issue that's going away for our party in a post-Dobbs world, and we can't put our head in the sand and think it's going to heading into 2024.
She's talking about post-Dobbs world. That's when that based male lawyer, not a liar. I told you some lawyers are not liars. Working on behalf of the female attorney general, I guess, of Kentucky or somewhere, spoke. Dobbs, right? Dobbs is the case where the lawyer argued successfully in the Supreme Court against those the liberal pro-abortion female justices, Elena Kagan. Well, it wasn't so much Kagan as Sonia Sotomayor tried to argue with that guy. Post-Dobbs world, where we overturned the ridiculous, I almost said stupid, but I don't want to say stupid too much, kids. Ridiculous Roe v. Wade thing. Abortion is still an issue. And then she wants to not get at the heart of the issue. She wants to argue like an intellectual and a woman. People don't even know what she's talking about. She's talking about due date abortion, meaning abortion, baby killing at the day that you're due. And then she said the sex-selective abortions, meaning killing the girls or whatever, killing whichever you know it's going to be. So, yeah, exactly, Greenwall, he says over on D-Live. So it's a problem because they're aborting girls. Dems are the real sexists. I know. How about killing babies is wrong? Eat that for dinner or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. Sounds vulgar. But I don't really have a problem with anything she said here. Maybe there was something with messaging, but her messaging is not good. Pedro Gonzalez, by the way, seems to be campaigning against Trump, even though he is saying some true things. He's the guy who's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before, Pedro Gonzalez. Independent journalist type of a guy. He said, it's endlessly amusing to watch Trump people get angry at Ronna McDaniel, that woman, Mitt Romney's niece, rhino woman, anti-white, trying to lead the Republican Party, while refusing to acknowledge that Trump shoved her down the throat of his base. And over and against challengers like another woman, Harmeet Dillon, K-Dhillon. PNJABAN is her Twitter handle. I don't know how you pronounce that. With the help of Susie Wiles. So, how about we get a man? Harmeet Dillon, I have a positive impression of her. Much more so than Ronna McDaniel. Harmeet Dillon, I think that's an Indian woman. She's had her picture taken with JLP before. I've come across that in the archives. She's a lawyer, maybe not a liar, but she's a woman. We don't need women leading this Republican Party. I would prefer her over Ronna McDaniel, though. But irregardless, which is not a word, some people say it's a word. Maybe I'll cover tomorrow how it's not a word. Some screenshots. I searched it after Dawning Armor's comment that it is indeed a word. Irregardless that Trump pushed for Ronna McDaniel. Did he really push for Ronna McDaniel? I believe it. I feel like I remember that. He's still the best. He was wrong there. He's wrong in many cases, but There's no one else who comes close. Quickly, Trump is being persecuted, and the El Salvador president, based El Salvador president, I've been saying it a lot, based, but I think in this case he may really be. He blasts the indictment of our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Just imagine if this happened in any other country. It's a Fox News article from April 5th. That's yesterday. And his name is Nayib Bukele. It doesn't even sound like a Spanish last name. Nayib Armando Bukele Ortez, Salvadorian politician, 41 years old, July 24th, born a week after Hake. Imagine that. Imagine a guy who's a week younger than Hake, leading El Salvador back into heaven, because they've been in hell for decades, maybe 100 years, maybe hundreds of years. I don't know. They've been kind of hit and miss. They've had crazy drug dealer mess, gangs, civil war. Salvadorians were moving up to America to get away from the war. And this guy is going after MS-13, Mara Salvatrucha. MS-13. Los Angeles prison or jail founded gang by Salvadorians, but founded here in here in America, so-called America. What a mess. But this Nayib Armando Bukele Ortez, I don't know if I showed any footage, but he's been rounding up the tattooed criminals. And he quote tweeted the first picture of something, of Trump, basically. The first photo of Donald Trump under arrest, shared by New York Magazine. Far left enemies of America, probably, New York Magazine. And Nayib Bukele tweeted, think what you want. Think what you want about former President Trump, our greatest, and the reason he's being indicted. But just imagine if this happened in any other country where a government arrested the main opposition candidate. The United States' ability to use democracy as foreign policy is gone. Oh no, they'll do it shamelessly. They'll continue to do it shamelessly, Nayib Bukele. Just watch. But he is right that they are phony. And we are not a democracy. We don't want to be a democracy. But it's a corrupt country. I guess I could say we are corrupt because I guess we all have to overcome our own corruption. But what a joke. What a mess. So right on, man. Doesn't it sound like a Middle Eastern name or an African name? Nayib? But I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Oh, Nicolas showing some footage of the gang members in prison. And then they're doing some raids. The based Salvadorian police or military police storming in, taking over. Right on, man. And look at Trump. He doesn't look, that's a man. That's a man, all dressed up. Oh, serious? I'm looking at the picture that New York Magazine tweeted. The first photo of Trump under arrest. That's nice. To see a man being a man. It's crazy. Okay, so let me get to William in California on the line. William, how are you doing, man?
Hey, James.
Hey, yes.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that that music yesterday and today was really, really good.
Nice, man. Thank you. That was The Finish Line by Steve Taylor yesterday and Curses by Steve Taylor today. Thank you, man. Glad you like it.
It's real good. Real good. You hit it.
So eat that, chat.
Yeah, eat that.
Don't say that, kids.
Does people realize that paying somebody to shut up is not illegal?
I know. Yeah.
And also paying them to shut up is not illegal, especially before you were in office.
Yep. Yeah, and lying about it is not illegal either because it's not their business. It's like the government.
It's pathetic. It's a revenge tour.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
The government loves lying to us, and they get away with it. And then, we lie to the government. All of a sudden, they can say, and about something as inconsequential as this. It's not even a real thing.
It's kind of a coincidence that, look, what did he pay her to shut up? How much?
$130,000 allegedly.
Isn't it kind of a trip?
And now she owes him $620,000.
Wait a minute, that she owes him that back, along with fees, that comes out to $500,000.
$620,000 in total.
Everybody that messes with the Teflon Don ends up losing their career or paying money.
Yeah.
Just before he came into office, I think the wife sued a magazine for millions.
Oh, wow. Nice. Melania did, huh?
Yeah.
Right on.
Braggs, your career might be over for doing this.
Yeah.
And some Democrats even warned, I don't know if we want to do this. You want to start this.
What's that?
I don't think they want to start that.
Oh, that type of persecution, political persecution.
And raining, all of that. So
we'll see what happens.
It's kind of a trip how she owes him now, but it's not illegal to tell somebody to shut up.
Yeah,
it's just not. So there's no there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't see it really being that consequential. I think it's just a headline, a full-page headline in New York Slimes, and that's all it was. Meaningless.
It's going to be extremely damaging to his career. I'll tell you that.
Whose career? Oh, Alvin Bragg's, the black guy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good for him spiritually to be this evil and pretending like he's all somber and serious.
Whatever.
Lisa says, I guess they coined the term hush money to make it sound illegal. Yeah.
It's not illegal.
I know.
It's not illegal.
Yep.
And you can even lie about it if you want to.
Right.
As long as it's not under oath.
And it's nobody's business. And
no, it's not.
And that's not why they're going after him. They're going after him because he's for what's right, and they're not for what's right.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Like I said, there's no threat. He will win.
We'll see what happens. I don't know if he will or won't, but I like your positivity.
He will. I can tell he's going to win because of all of the stuff that's going on. I've never seen anybody do so well and be treated so bad for doing well.
They're in a panic.
Level. Yeah, they're in a panic. Every time I call, they get rattled. DJ
Onpaw gave a diamond on D-Live about you. He said, William is a Steve Taylor shill.
Hey, he wasn't bad, man. I kind of like that, especially yesterday's music.
Yeah, it was cool. I really that's one of my favorite songs of high school. I would kind of sing it to myself under my breath when I was running, but it was about the Christian race, the Christian life as a metaphor of a race, running a race. So anyway,
I dug the music.
Yeah,
I really liked the arrangement. It was cool.
Nice. Well, thank you, William. Great to hear from you, man.
You too.
All right, take care.
All right.
Bye. More super chats on rumble.com/The Hake Report. Being enlightened till I rise says, bring back the kids' music. They were catchy. Nice. I just might tomorrow. Tomorrow is Easter. Well, it's not Easter, but it's last day of the Hake Report before Easter, which is a Christian holiday. You guys can call it Resurrection Sunday. You guys can call it Pascha, or whatever you want to call it. But I grew up calling it Easter because I'm a Christian. And tomorrow's Good Friday, so we're going to have some nice Jesus music from Steve Taylor and from Mary Rice Hopkins. Hopefully, right? Hopefully. We shall see. Animus with a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. So-called conservative women, which there is no such thing, are even worse than these super upfront feminist screamy women. I found that it's easier to calm them down. In Jesus, there is no male and female. Women, sit down and shut it, all of you, says Animus. And he continues with another super chat. So many people want to see Trump in jail because they hate God, not because they believe in the English common law. If Trump were a leftist, I would be just as much at arms. These people don't know what to do to themselves by hating what they do to themselves by hating Trump. Yeah, I agree with you, Animus. Although they wouldn't, it would be a totally different situation and totally different motives of them going after him. He would be like a sacrificial lamb, you know, were he a leftist and they were going after him like this, you know? It would be like, oh, he's outlived his usefulness. He's white, he's male, he's older. Out with the old and replace him with somebody else. Even worse. But, yeah, they do evil to themselves. Trying to hurt Trump. That's a fact. So, chin up, kings and queens. No such thing. Fret not. Let not your heart be troubled. It's in the Bible. Let me tell you quickly before I get back to calls, hang tight, callers, about this San Francisco stabbing. Murder and crime. Yesterday, I saw a Scott Adams tweet about the crime in SF because he lived there a while. I think he's up from NorCal up there. You heard this on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show yesterday and on Hake News today of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Bob Lee, according to TechCrunch, creator, he's not a creator, the founder of CashApp. Ever heard of that? A lot of blacks use it. It's a payment method. And former CTO, that's certified technical operator, no, chief technology officer of Square. Square is another payment processor from big tech. I hate that word, big tech. But anyway. Stabbed to death in SF, San Francisco, California. Beautiful San Francisco. How far you've fallen. But it's been down for a long time. Bob Lee, chief product officer at MobileCoin, was killed in a fatal stabbing in San Francisco on Tuesday morning, 2:35 a.m. San Francisco Police Department responded to a report of a stabbing near the 300 block of Main Street in Soma, whatever that is. But it's supposedly the nice area. Very close to the shore, rich neighborhood, I think. I mean, you basically have to be, it's either rich or homeless or subsidized black and Hispanic, right? Up in the SF area, Oakland and all that. He was taken to a hospital but succumbed to his injuries. And so Scott Adams tweeted the other day, yesterday early morning, for historical context, I was mugged at knife point, a very large knife, on the same block in SF, San Francisco. We call it Frisco, but they don't like that. In the early 80s. Mugged at knife point, a large knife, literally like a Crocodile Dundee knife, literally, according to him. During the few years I lived in San Francisco, I was robbed at gunpoint 3 times, twice as a bank teller. He was working as a bank teller, robbed at gunpoint, and then once another time. My apartment was robbed once. My car was broken into 3 times, and a gun pointed at my head while the trigger was pulled, no round in the chamber. Wow. Imagine that. It was a dangerous place, says Scott Adams. And that would have been probably the 80s, early 80s, right? Early 80s. That's when the crime was quite high. And again, it's high again. And by the way, somebody said, the Laughing Cat tweeted, whoever that is, he tweeted, a rando. Shout out to the randos. We love the randos. They're the best sometimes. You are already canceled. Tell the race of the criminals. Actually, don't. We already know. Well, he said 3 white, 1 Hispanic, 1 black. Delightfully diverse. Those were the suspects who assaulted him. The ones I saw, not sure who robbed my apartment or cars. We're not going to make any assumptions. And so Michael Schellenberger, quote, tweeted this guy Jake Shields about what's going on in SF. Jake Shields is a MMA guy. I covered him before, I think a little bit. Famous guy, I think. He said, just found out my good friend was killed last night while he was walking in San Francisco. He was in the good part of the city, quote unquote, and appeared to have been targeted in a random mugging/attack. And he said, blank San Francisco. And later it came, that was on the 4th. That was when it was fresh. And later on the 4th, he said, Bob Lee was a loyal friend. I tweeted, Jack Dorsey belongs in prison, and Bob called me and said I should delete the tweet because it wasn't Jack's fault. The Twitter files showed Bob was right. Jack wasn't involved in the election meddling. It was the employees. Like I tell you guys, the employees are worse than the people who are running the show. They are. Look at Spotify. Look at these companies. This is just a side note. These companies that run book publishers. Book publisher is going to publish a book by Jordan Peterson. Just like one of the most vanilla people in the world. He's a former communist, I heard. Just nice guy to everybody. And the employees staged a crazy thing, and so like the book publisher canceled his book. Unless I'm getting him confused with somebody else. They canceled somebody's book. So anyway, Michael Schellenberger, who's a guy on Twitter. I feel like I've seen his name and covered his stuff before. He said, San Francisco's in free fall. We don't know who killed your friend, Jake Shields, this Bob Lee guy, who was murdered. Because they don't find in these black and Hispanic high crime areas, most of the murders go unsolved. Murder clearance rates are dismal in these black areas and Hispanic areas and high crime areas in general. Homicides are up 20%. Drug overdoses up 18%. Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Mayor London Breed need to deploy the National Guard to restore public safety. That starts with shutting down the open-air drug dealing. Mayor London Breed needs to take responsibility and stop blaming others. She should formally apologize for joining the woke defund mob because she was into the defund the police stuff. She should ask Biden and Newsom to send the National Guard to restore order in downtown. I remember Trump was going to send the National Guard to Chicago, and then evil, stupid, angry, who's the Nation of Islam guy? Louis Farrakhan, right? Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you ought to listen to. What he could say to you, stupid. That's those Public Enemy, dumb black rappers from the 80s. Farrakhan's like, that's a race war. That's a declaration of war on black people. Trump is wanting to protect the blacks from black-on-black murder, and evil Farrakhan doesn't want that. He wants blacks to be self-run. Well, that's nice. I want blacks to be self-run too. I can sympathize with that, but it's not Trump waging war on the blacks, evil person. Evil, angry person. Schellenberger says Governor Gavin Newsom should cut short his presidential campaign. Is he running for president? Return to California, help Mayor London Breed get control of the chaos in San Francisco. They're not going to do that. They can't. Enough with the blaming of others. London Breed, the black female mayor, who I like her only because she was for Jackie Lacey and not for George Gascon down here, right? Other than that, she's trying to run the show in San Fran. A black woman, Democrat. Breed and Newsom have all the emergency powers that executives need when cities become too dangerous for their businesses to operate, and the businesses are going down. The attitude should be, let the courts stop us. Ask Biden for the National Guard, shut down open-air drug markets, emergency shelter beds. No, put them in slavery. I guess you can emergency shelter bed. The homeless, enslave the homeless and druggies. Everyone inside at night, where there will be 3 times less likely to die than they are on the streets, Michael Schellenberger says. There was apparently a judge denied the city's request to remove the homeless people from different places. Evil judge, evil, dumb, liberal judge. But they don't have to listen to the judge. Newsom and London Breed are not helpless before these corrupt liberal judges. Feels, so the constitutional rights, they're taking away their property when it's polluting the streets, basically littering the streets. Nick says, yes, enslave homeless. And I want to wake up, walk out, and say good morning to the military men standing guard in the street. Yeah, martial law. Heck yeah. No. It's tough because you have evil people that run in the government and run in the police, so you can get help from neighboring counties. Oh, Lord. London Breed wrote this letter. We are in the midst of an unprecedented police staffing shortage. That's your fault because you supported Black Lives Matter, the destruction of the best white police officers and most capable police officers, period, whether they're white or black or Hispanic or Asian. They're all getting murdered, cop killed, falsely prosecuted under Black Lives Matter lynch mob prosecutions, politically motivated prosecutions. Violence and shootings surround these brazen open-air drug dealing scenes, says London Breed. So what a mess, huh? Terrible. That's SF for you. And Chicago, real quick. Let me try to go through these, plow through these. Chi-Town, this is a tweet from Actual Justice Warrior. AJW, I am Sean in 90. He's covered Hake before. When I debunked Brenton Langle's nonsense about Breonna Taylor and Freddie Gray and all that stuff. Chicago, he tweeted, hits 800 murders. Chicago, 800 murders for the first time in 25 years. I guess that's within a year's span, right? They oust their progressive mayor. That's the black lesbian, weird-faced person whom everybody hates, apparently, Lori Lightfoot. And then they elect an even more racist, meaning black, who's anti-white, progressive, meaning communist, mayor who wants to cut law enforcement even more. Off-year, early April elections are a joke, tweeted AJW, Actual Justice Warrior. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I didn't know that about Chicago. I heard JLP talking about it. They replaced Lori Lightfoot with this male, Brandon Johnson, not to be confused with the legendary former retired former moderator from Hake and JLP, Brandon Johnson, but this black, phony, corrupt politician, calling him corrupt because he's evil. And lastly, New York. Let me play this, and then I'll get to calls, okay? This is, the libs are mad that New York City's gross. So you have SF, you have Chi-Town, and you have the Big Apple. All disgusting. Sandy Cortez, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, tweeted this. If a petty HOA complaint were a person, which is an anti-white woman dog whistle slur, might as well be a bullhorn, Cortez, you white-hating liberal. Clip 14, this is what she quote tweeted. Marjorie Greene, they call her Marjorie Taylor Greene, the queen. I call her that facetiously somewhat, but I appreciate her. On New York, she's on Tucker Carlson's show. It's disgusting. It was repulsive, talking about New York. It smells bad. I think it's a very terrible place because they have a black mayor, Democrat, who was supposed to be better than Bill de Blasio, but we'll see. This Eric Adams guy. And Tucker all but endorsed Eric Adams, too, by the way. He was like, this guy's a former cop. Maybe he'll be better than Bill de Blasio. Not. Here's Marjorie Greene.
Really quick, since you were just there, but Mayor Adams described New York as, quote, his home. How did his home look? Pretty neat and tidy?
No, his home is disgusting. I compared it to what I called Gotham City. The streets are filthy. They're covered with people basically dying on drugs. They can't even stand up. They're falling over. There's so much crime in the city. I can't comprehend how people live there. It was repulsive. It smells bad. And I think it's a terrible place.
Not good. And she's right about that, even though she shouldn't be worrying her pretty little head about politics. We appreciate her for what she is. But Cortez, evil Cortez, also trying to play politician, said, if anyone went on TV and talked about a rural area like this, it'd be gloves off, and deservedly so. This is no different. If she doesn't like the greatest city in the United States, that's her problem. I love New York. No, you don't. Or she put, I heart New York. Black heart. Yeah, she does have a black heart. I think she put a black heart. Is it a black heart? Let me see. Oh, no, it's a red heart. As in communist. And she put the Statue of Liberty emoji there. So that's phony Cortez. Bunch of phony women fighting over us being less phony. Or more phony and corrupt and evil. Man, JC has been on hold forever from Little Rock, Arkansas. JC, what's going on, man?
What's up, Rasputin? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go for it.
My goodness. Thank you for
Who's Rasputin? Very briefly.
Rasputin?
Yeah, you called me that. What's that?
The villain from Anastasia.
Is that a cartoon or is that a classic story?
Both. I think in the movie, he was portrayed like their czar or something, and was like really bad, and was portrayed as the villain. And then
he was a Russian peasant. Was he the Russian peasant Rasputin? Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin, Russian mystic and self-proclaimed holy man, befriended the royal family of Nicholas with a H, the second, last emperor of Russia. Is that one?
Does he have the very scary beard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'll take that as a compliment. And he was 6'4". Nice. Stay close to your phone. You're getting muffled. William,
my phone. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, speak right into your phone, man.
All right. I bet you were very happy to see that I was calling right after William and Art. I bet you thought you was having a good day.
Yes.
I also wanted to just say, in these last 4 months, y'all have provided me with entertainment over at Jesse's Network. Like I told you, when I first was finding y'all, I've been binge watching y'all, and my God, y'all provide me with so much entertainment.
Nice. Thank you. You're welcome.
I was watching your debate, your little debate the other day. Why do you cover your rebel flag when you're on the debate once, but not on your own show?
I cover it on my own show now, too. I cover it out of respect for the people so that they don't get their channel. Because sometimes some of these people stream on Twitch, and Twitch is so communist, which is owned by Amazon, by the way, that they hate white people and they hate the beautiful South and they hate Christianity. And so they feel like the rebel flag is a sign of hate when they're the sign of hate, not the rebel flag. But that's why I cover it, out of respect for the tender sensibilities of the lame liberal communists who run America and the commie capitalist corporations.
Yeah, I didn't like that debate as much as some of the other ones I've seen.
Understandable.
I told the one between you and Balls, where y'all was discussing stats, please never discuss stats in public again. I don't like it. That was very, very cringy and stuff. I was like, oh my God, this man.
But you enjoyed that better? You enjoyed the Vosh debate about the S word better than this one about Trump? Because there is no real debate. Everybody knows that Trump is being politically persecuted for being a Christian and a man and white and for what's right. Everybody knows that.
Trump broke the law. He incited riots. He's been horrible. The only good thing he did was The Apprentice and gave stimulus checks.
You don't really believe any of that, do you?
And also, he's very funny to watch as well. Just like
I noticed that he did
laugh.
not answer the question of whether he believes this.
Do I believe everything that I just said? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do I believe everything I just said? Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. You know,
Hey,
I got
a question for you.
Yeah, I can't stay on too long with you because we're getting close to the end. Go for it.
Real quick. So
All right.
why do you hate JC from Little Rock?
Why do I hate JC from Little Rock? If I hate anybody, I hate JC from Little Rock. It has nothing to do with you, man. It's not you, it's me.
Goodness, it sounds like we're breaking up. I would never date you. You're not my type.
I gotta go, man.
Oh, God.
But
now I gotta go to them.
Yeah, don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate, kids.
I don't hate you. You hate me. But have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye. Man, Nate in SoCal, been on hold forever, and he got disconnected the last time. Nate, you know I didn't hang up on you the last time. You got disconnected there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
What's up, Hake?
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, let's get to the point because we got a little bit of time left. I was at the pharmacy yesterday picking up a prescription. Go ahead, Hake. What do you want to say?
Go ahead. Well, I wanted to keep it quick because I also want to get to John in Kentucky, but
okay, we'll keep it quick.
I know it may not be fair. Go for it.
Hake, thank you for waiting. I had time to take a bubble bath.
Oh, TMI, I guess.
Okay, why? You don't even know what I look like. How dare you, Hake?
No, I don't have to know what you look like. Whoa, is that a pot laugh? Is that a pot laugh or a menthol laugh?
No, that's a George Washington laugh.
George Washington laugh like that?
Yeah, I do the like George Washington or the man on the quick throat box.
I don't even know.
You don't know what a quick throat is, huh, white boy?
I don't know, man. Are you trolling me
All right,
now?
Hake, are you ready? I'm scolding you right now, Hake. All right, Hake, I'm schooling you. I went to the pharmacy to get my prescription, but that's not what's important. It was the worst time of my life, but I prayed to Jesus, right? That's what they say, Hake, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I prayed to Jesus. I stared at the people in the pharmacy because they made me wait. They closed the doors and kept everybody inside captive who was waiting for their prescription.
Do you have teeth?
Sir, please.
Do you have teeth?
What?
Do you have teeth?
Yeah, I have teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Okay. Do you have teeth? Are they made of wood or what?
No, go ahead. What in the world? I should have gotten to John.
All right, Hake. Calm down.
Go ahead.
All right. So as I walked across the street after praying to Jesus for help, I went to the 76 station, and there was this white man working behind the counter. Not very many cigarettes on display, so I told him, I'll have the Marble 27s unless you have any menthols.
Uh-huh.
And he said, what, Hake?
I'm calling the police.
Said, no, sir. He said, unless to me, and I said, what do you mean unless? He reaches down right where he stands. He doesn't care. He reaches right down in the city of La Habra. Okay, this guy at a flower shop.
Don't be doxing him. You're gonna let the cops narrow it down.
No,
that's doxing.
Right
People can.
Shop on the corner of Good and Hell.
Oh no, he's breaking up now.
Hey.
You're breaking up.
Hey.
Darn. Nate in Southern California, your phone is all messed up. He's not talking about anything. Thanks for your call, Nate. He got disconnected or we hung up or something. His phone turned messed up. Sorry, guys. Well, guys, this has been the Hake Report. Let me read the last super chats here. John in Kentucky, I cannot get to you. I was hoping to get to you. I saw a super chat on Rumble. Evil is still real. Tweet gave the Rumble rant. If you don't want blacks eating at your establishments, just require reservations. If they're even 1 minute late, just don't serve them and say their reservation time is gone. I know, but they'll still sue and cry racism, and it's a mess. They cry racism even when that's not even remotely on anybody else's mind, but they imagine it, and the lame-o mainstream media falls for it. It's a mess. But nice tactic, I suppose, yeah. That Sob over on Odyssey gave a couple of super chats, odyssee.com/@ the Hake Report. Voting for Trump is a Zio trap. Zio, which I think is short for Zion. He didn't want to use the extra letter there. They, he says, create the problem, quote unquote, to call for the solution, to make you call for the solution, Trump. But Trump is not the solution. He's just the best man for the job. He's not the solution. It's true. And they do like to create the problem. The liberals, the unchristian people, the perhaps many Zios, if you will, Zionists. Zionists are people who are nationalists for Israel, but they also kind of want globo homo much of the time, which is not a good thing. Because their type of globo homo is not under Christ, it's under Satan. Because if you're not with Jesus, you're with Satan. And most of us are atheists for Satan, and we don't even know it. I don't think voting for Trump is that. I disagree with you there, man. I understand a little bit of what you're saying. I don't think so. But a lot of the stuff that he's, he has a lot of very unchristian and very unmanly infiltration and very anti-white infiltration into his camp. I will grant you that. So buyer beware, but he's still, in my opinion, the best man for the job. Name a better guy, name a better president in our lifetimes. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? But yeah, they do that all the time. They being the very unchristian people, which most of us are, right? They mess up the family. They spread this, find love, and this false idea about love. And then they raise kids poorly. And then the kids grow up to be killers or lame-os or sluts, which is not that bad of a word, but don't say that too much, kids, even though I did say it. Or slut makers, sex dealers and sex addicts. And they shoot up places, and then they say, oh, we need to take away the guns. Or we need to take away the rights of the Christians. We need to put the Christians in the closet. So evil. Yeah, they swoop in with their false solutions. Very true, man. Very true. I totally get you on that, man. Thank you for the support. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I got to end. And because I go so long, and then I like to end before 2 hours, I've been picking short songs now. Here's a short song from Lust Control. This is from 1989, apparently. It's from the album Dancing Naked. I guess that's somewhat what, halfway at least, what King David did. And then his wife, Michael, or something like that. Yeah, a woman named Michael, looked down on him scornfully. But this track is entitled Jesus Washed Judas's Feet. But he said Judas' feet with an apostrophe at the end. I like to put apostrophe S, but he put Jesus washed, not watched, Judas' feet. Why don't you forgive too? Love your enemy. Adios, America.